Hey everybody, Richard here with EduData Consulting. So this is episode 7, and some of you may be thinking, we've seen 6 episodes and we have yet to see a single spreadsheet. Well, this is the episode of the spreadsheet. When we set up curriculum mapping, we had created all of these folders inside of a shared drive, and inside the admin folder, we have a Google Sheet that essentially manages all of our data. And notice how we are protecting the first 4 sheets here. So these can only be edited by the curriculum admin, whoever that person is. And the file sheet is where all of your curriculum documents will be listed and relisted every night automatically. The SIS tab is the information about your school and the courses and subject areas and standards that you may want to track. The import tab is a technique which we'll see in a later video for importing existing documents into the curriculum mapping add-on. The apps, of course, you've seen in a previous video as we were adding or attaching apps to unit planners. The Apps Map tab is where we track and store any of the applications that are connected to a unit planner, as well as any teachers who are attached to a unit planner. And then we have some places to store the standards that are submitted and attached to unit planners. And we have some sheets kind of lying in wait. They need a little bit more additional information. The formulas are there, just not all the data is here yet. So that would be in the Looker Studio tab, as well as in the All Standards tab. So notice we have a count if formula. So this is waiting for data to appear in this tab. So our goal now is to get the data into this tab. And here's how it works. We're going to go to the add-on, and in the support documentation, we have something called automation template. This is a very short AppScript file, which we will just copy all of. And then what we need to do with this is, as indicated in the instructions, we need to go to our curriculum data Google Sheet and follow these steps. So we're going to go to our curriculum Google data sheet, go to extensions, and go to AppScript. And we're going to paste that code into this Google Sheet. So let's go ahead and rename it Automation. And let's just close the templates so we don't get those confused. And let's save it. So now we've copied it over. The next thing we need to do is add the Drive API service version 3. So you can add services by clicking on the plus button next to services. So here's the Drive. It's already selected version 3, and we add it. And then the next piece is we add this AppScript library. So this is a library I wrote to specifically support the curriculum mapping project. So we will just copy that script ID, and we can paste in that here. We can look up that library and it'll find it. It's called File Lister Library, and we will add it just like that. And then we would add time-driven triggers to relist the files at 11 p.m., followed by a trigger that will list all the standards at 12 a.m. And then at 1 a.m., we will run the script that will manage our unit planners. So when I say manage, it's going to organize them into a meaningful subfolders automatically. So all of this will happen while hopefully you're asleep. So let's first manually trigger the list files function. So if we locate that list files function and we click run, the first thing it's going to do is ask for some permission to run. So we will need to authorize those, and I've already done that in a previous attempt at making this video, so that's why this has already been authorized. But what that first did was it set the script properties and it ran the function to list all of our files. So if we go back to our Google Sheet, we will notice that our files are listed here. And if I just give this sheet a refresh, we will now notice that we have a custom menu that we can now work with instead of going through the script editor. So let me just refresh the files one more time. And you can see that happens very quickly. So these are, we've got 4 unit planners in our curriculum. So the next thing I'd like to do is refresh the standards. So again, if we go down to our All Standards tab, we know we don't have any standards in here, so we are not able to count them. So what this function will do is it's going to look at our, let me get back to our curriculum documentation drive. It's going to go inside of our outcomes folder. It's going to find all of the Google Sheets in here, and it's going to put them all into one column and only one occurrence of each. So let's go ahead and run the refresh standards. So this may take a while depending on how many standards you have added. That didn't take too long. As you can see, these are all of the standards, and of course we can expand this out to get a better view of what they say. And notice how here, let's just add a quick filter here, and we can filter just by, so these, we know that these standards here appear one time in our curriculum. So later on we'll get to a more dashboard like view in Looker Studio that lets us explore these standards, but you can always look directly at the data here in the actual source for the Looker Studio. And then we will also organize our unit planners while we are here. So what that script does is it takes any of the unit planners that were originally in what's known as the uncategorized folder, and it's going to neatly organize them into specific subject area and grade level folders. So as we pull back, we'll go back into our shared drive, and let's take a look at what we've got. So if we start with our, let's start with the resource folders. So these are always going to be organized. Every time you create a new unit planner, it creates a resource folder, and it's going to automatically put it inside of a subfolder that is the course folder. So if we have an 8th grade algebra course, all of those resource folders will end up inside of that. So it's easy to kind of navigate and locate. Similar concept with the unit planners. Notice we do have this uncategorized folder, which after that script had run, this is now going to be, well, it should be empty, but I guess I haven't actually attached that one to a unit yet. Let's see that again. Let's just refresh this. Yeah, I just hadn't refreshed it. So it did move. And if we go into Math 8, we can see all of those are neatly located into the Math 8 folder. So this was a little longer video, but I thought it was important to sort of explain this piece as it's the essential workings of the curriculum mapping with Google Workspace add-on. Thanks for watching.